Sometimes we look at people and see their riches, appearance, and past, and we can't see beyond that, but Jesus sees differently. Zacchaeus was a small man in stature, probably ridiculed for his size. And he was a wealthy, unliked tax collector by his peers, yet this same man plotted a plan when he heard Jesus was coming to Jericho, and he ran ahead of the crowd to climb a tree to see him. With everything Zacchaeus had, we can assume something was missing. Why would anyone who had everything climb a tree for no reason? If it were an adventurous little boy, it might be possible, or a tree trimmer by profession, but a tax collector, that would be absurd. He was wanting something more in his life and knew where to find it. You see, when we are discontent, we will risk anything to get whatever that is, because internally there is a void and we are dissatisfied, and it robs our peace, and we continue to search for that missing thing to complete us. The celebratory part of this saga is this little, rich, despised man finally figured out his answer was seeing the Son of God, and it paid off. Jesus saw what we sometimes miss because we tend to look at the cover rather than the pages inside the book. For example, we sometimes assume homeless people are addicts, or maybe they don't have an interest in working a job, and although that is true in some cases, it is not always the case. Also, we must remember, just because a person makes poor decisions, it may not be the end of their story, and Jesus will meet people right where they are, just as he did Zacchaeus. He met Zacchaeus in the most unusual place for a grown man, in a tree. When the story began, we saw a man seeking the Lord. So it seemed, but the reality is Jesus was seeking him, unless the norm is that grown adults hang out in sycamores, and I don't believe that's the case. You see, Jesus didn't view him as we might. He saw him for the potential, the same as he sees you and me. Jesus doesn't label, condemn, or judge our past behaviors and mistakes. He saw the possibilities. Jesus sees the best when we tend to see the worst. I want to encourage you to see like Jesus. And if you are lacking peace and joy and on the search for that missing thing in your life, I can tell you that you don't have to climb a tree, although the goodness of God is worth it. All you need to do is look up. The answer is right there, and he is waiting. He loves you, wants you, and sees you and all your potential.